Hello, this is Lori Tom, and this is video number 1 in the Before You Write series. It's called For All the Writing Haters. So, my goal for you in this video is to go from a mindset of hating writing to loving writing. And if you love writing already, and you might have children who don't love writing, this is a video for you as well to help you change their mindset. So, my mission in all the writing teaching that I do is to get you and your family writing for the rest of your lives. It's just a tiny little goal, but it's so important to me because I feel like writing is one of the best ways to make sense of your life, and I think that's a pretty good thing. I also want to give you tools for doing this, and I want to make those tools things that are fast and easy to do within the context of your super busy lives. But there's one tiny problem, and that problem is a lot of people hate writing. And I know this because when I teach Family of Writers classes, entire families come to the class, and often as I start, I see the looks on parents' faces. The kids are fine. They do this writing thing all the time. But the parents get this look of fear on their face. Like, we're writing too? And I see them in their heads thinking, oh, I gotta go. And I go up to those people and I calm them down and I say, I'm gonna be gentle. It's gonna be fine. And it always is. Mostly because a lot of kids also come up to their parents with these sweet little puppy dog eyes. They're like, please stay, please, you can do this, you can do this. And that works every time because every parent wants to do the best thing for their kid, even when it involves getting over something scary. And by the end of Family of Writers classes, often I'll get reviews like this. Writing can be fun. Who knew? You'd never guess who can write. And all of us can write. But before I keep going, I want to be really clear and acknowledge that writing fear is real. Peter Elbow, he's the author of a book called Writing with Power. He says, writing calls on the ability to create words and ideas out of yourself, but it also calls on the ability to criticize them in order to decide which ones to use. This is big and kind of oppositional work for your brain. Writing is hard. But I'm going to show you some ways to make it a little easier. I'm going to show you ways to help it become a joyful journey of discovery. So I'm going to give you some simple steps to transform yourself into a writing lover who also encourages writing love in your kids. And the first thing is to start with what you can control, and that's your attitude towards writing. Step 1, don't be a writing teacher. Teachering stuff works with not your own kids. I know of what I speak. I have a child. I am also a teacher. Don't start a power struggle with writing. Even if your kid's teacher is a horrible writing teacher, that's something you can't control. But you can control the way you approach writing and the way you show that approach to your kids, because they will absorb that just like a sponge. Step 2, believe that everyone, including you, can be a writer. I believe this down to my bones. It's not about 100% on a grammar test or a weekly spelling test. It's not about using fancy words from a thesaurus. What it is about, I will show you in steps 3 and 4. Step 3, be a human who pays attention to the moments of your life, or a human who learns about something that interests you. It is all about paying attention. It's about learning. And then step 4, use your words. Put what you learned on, or what you think, on a piece of paper with some words. It's about that process of making meaning. It's the thing that separates us from the animals. It is such a human thing to do. And then you just repeat those steps often. So here's the key to that. You can close the door for other things you do, but when you're writing, keep the door open. Let your kids see it. Let them know you believe that everyone can write by actually doing it yourself. Now, I'm not talking about masterpieces. If you write on a napkin at Chick-fil-A, it can do the trick. Please notice what I didn't include in those steps. I didn't say you had to do it perfectly. Only Mary Poppins is perfect. Nope, it's the doing it that's the key. And also notice that there's a typo on this page. Only Mary Poppins imperfect? I kept it there just to show you how comfortable I am without being perfect. All right. The difference between you and J.K. Rowling, because she's a pretty great writer, we'd all agree. 1, she writes a lot more than you do. 2, she shares her writing a lot more than you do to get feedback from other writers or editors whom she respects. Clearly, she has a lot more money than all of us do. But the other thing is, she has a huge secret that she understands down to her bones. And I'm going to tell it to you right now. You ready? Here it is. Crummy writing leads to the good stuff. Crummy writing doesn't make JK have a fit and quit like a toddler having a tantrum. Nope, quite the opposite. She knows, she has an unwavering faith that crummy writing is all part of the process. She expects it. And she gives herself some grace. And she just keeps writing. Now, J.K. Rowling isn't the only person who knows this. Peter Elbow, our friend who wrote Writing with Power, he knows this too. Listen to this. In short, fear of badness is probably what holds people back most from developing power in writing. Some of that fear is natural in the struggles to develop acceptable self, but some of it results from teachers who care more about getting rid of badness than about looking for potential for excellence. Your job as a parent, look for potential for excellence. Peter Elbow gets it. Anne Lamott, she gets it too. Here's her quote about the same thing. I know some very great writers you love, who write beautifully and have made a great deal of money, and not one of them sits down routinely feeling wildly enthusiastic and confident. Not one of them writes elegant first drafts. All right, one of them does, but we do not like her very much. So face your fears. You can't let this writing thing slip through your fingers. Yes, writing is hard. You will write a lot of bad stuff. Good for you. But the journey is worth it. You notice more, you connect more, you make meaning. But most of all, you can teach your kids to do the very same thing by sharing the legacy of your stories. Your babies will not care if it's perfect. They will just care that it was written. And giving them confidence to live rich writing lives through your example is golden. So in conclusion, you may not have had writing love at first sight, but I hope you're going to be on the way to adoring it just a little bit more than you did before, or helping your kids adore it a little more than they did before. Stay tuned for the next video in the Before You Write series. It's called Copying Isn't a Crime. And if you like, follow me on Instagram at Lori Stories, or sign up for my monthly newsletter at LoriT.com. It's short and sweet and filled with lots of writing treats. That's it. Always writing. Goodbye, Lori Tom. See you later.